another Katana video. So it's a little different though, because it's actually a guide video, technically. The last two was a Katana. Hold on. Gust and Absolution. His wall and ult, or E and F moves. So let's start with shield. Okay. So to describe it, Gust is a utility shield move that has 11-second cooldown. It can take 250 HP, depletes really fast, and can apply two stacks of limits from Misfortune, one on the initial hit and one if you walk back in. Unfortunately, I don't have an example, but I can show you that in the middle of the game. The initial hit does 25 damage and 20 wall damage and lasts up to 5 seconds. All projectiles cannot go through this. Some can pierce, I think, which is weird. I don't know, it's kind of buggy sometimes, I don't know. With the exception of Hyper Ult. Hyper Ult can hit through it, so you never want to ult through it. Or use it, sorry. Okay, so what can you do with this? For starters, you can block, generally speaking, you can block line of sight of shield. Like, let's say a Hyper is up there, and I'm brawling, like, with a medkit, right? I can shield that so they're not able to hit me, so I can safely play aggro and approach the medkit. You can also do this to confirm kills, and what I mean by this is, let's say escape. This can actually deward skate, right? So let's say escape skate all around me. I can just pop E and then use it, unleash a combo, grapple back, and kill them. You can use that for that situation, among other things. And you can also protect yourself to ult, which was shown in my last guide video, which I kind of have to update since I got some of it wrong actually. So let's say I'm brawling, right? Let's say I'm right here. There's a few people lined up, and I'm trying not to get hit by the Hyper before I ult, just so I can have enough HP to be able to actually snowball. I can pop a shield, ult, and then bam, I get a 2 skewer, get all the kills, and kill them. There's some things that you may not want to do with wall actually. Specifically, using it when no one's looking at you. This is a really big problem when it comes to open players that I've noticed, where whenever they approach a fight, like the Sling or Hyper, let's just say they're occupied, well, not Sling and Hyper specifically, but any character, they're occupied with something else, and then you pop the shield for no reason, not to take damage. This is really bad, just because it's such big. It has an 11-second cooldown. It's really big, so people will notice and they'll direct their attention to you, and then won't you do that? Because now you have no shield to protect you. And also shouldn't be using shields if there's a piece of terrain. Like, let's say I'm getting hit by Sling, right? Sling's right there, he's gonna kill me. I could shield, but then leave me with no shield, and if a skate comes in and kills me, then I'm definitely dead. So what I can do is just hide behind the wall. There's already terrain here placed down, there's no real reason for me to actually, you know, pop a shield. Because if a skate comes here, then boom, I'm dead. I'm like 60 HP. You also don't want to use this at the edge of a map. I'll actually go to a different map to show you. Okay, so we're back. So what I was talking about earlier is that I forgot to mention this in the start, but your shield also knocks you back, not just the enemy back. And this is really important when it comes to team fights, because if, let's say on a map on SFOT, they're very void heavy, like you can so much space to fall like that. Look. Can I get back up? Come on. Yeah. So, like, generally speaking, if you're on the edge of the map, if you're gonna try to eat someone in the floor, you want to make sure there's also land behind you. Because if I'm like this, there's like Hyper fighting me and I like shield, then I'll be on the edge. That's fine, because then they can go. Maybe they can go to the void. But if I go to something like this, where like I'm right here and I'm gonna shield this, then I'm gonna fall in the void. The only way I can get back is if I have to and I die. That is when you don't want to use that. That's really important, because E might be the most important ability, just best by usage from Katana, generally because of the long 11-second cooldown, and just because how much you could do with it. Because you could also protect your team. Like, if Scythe is low, like if I have a Scythe on my team, the Scythe is low, they're gonna get sniped. I can pop and eat a shield if I want to, but generally speaking, it doesn't really matter if they can get behind cover. So if I'm like in a really open space, like right here, my medkit's about to die, I have to get rid of this line of sight, I can just do this, just to give them time to hide. But most of the time, it generally doesn't work. But I do really like using it. It's like one of my favorite, it's not, well, it's one of my preferred things to do. That's about it, and that's kind of about it for shield. I'll show you more in game. I'll put it in action. Well, I'll have to explain this first. I would just like to add a few things that technically, Katana cannot block are AoE moves, such as full charge rocket M2, sword ult, hypers, grenades technically are unblockable, and that's pretty much it. Just gotta keep that in mind. You can use, actually, in a case sensitive situation, you can use your shield to protect your team from getting a sword ult stuck into them with E, which is really effective usage, but you also want to get out the way. So if you just shield and just pop and use S, you should be able to take any damage, and that's really good. Alright, see ya. Okay, onto the ult. Absolution. So the most straightforward move is, in my opinion, in terms of how it works technically. So when you ult, he powers back at an 80 stun range, so it's basically like the size of the point. You can jump across the point one to another. It requires 140 finisher points, so usually most of the time you'll get at least like about 3, ideally 3 uses out of it. It applies all 5 stacks of Living Misfortune and stuns them. You can also miss the ult even if you land it by, let's say it's a coil, they're gonna ult, right? And then they just get out the way. Even if they get grabbed, if they're not in your line of sight, the hit will not land, and only you'll get transported. It's really wonky to use, because if two katanas ult each other, they'll just end up at the opposite spots, I think. So what can you do with the ult? You could, I think I've said this in my thought process video. So you can clutch the game really effectively just because of how much snowball potential it has. Like, if you hit 4 skewers and your team follows through with it, you could pull some crazy things off. And this combos really well with some ults such as hyper ult because it's a stun. Maybe subspace if you can pull inside, boombox. And there's a few more probably missing. Oh yeah, slingshot, especially slingshot, because I'm speaking from experience. I play with T6 Scrimmer and Opens Animosity. Shout out to them. Great slingshot. We could pull off N-Cake as well. Some really good slingshots. You can pull off really good pressure ults with ulting with both of them because it gives Sling a really easy time to hit them because they're all stunned. And a very specific utility option you could use it is putting them in a bad position. I'll pull up a clip on my King of the Hill game in my ideal thought process video. Pillar that my team isn't able to punish and save me to heal. So I go for sword here just to see if I can build up a lot of shield and also reposition the sword just to put them in a worse position for my team to punish off of that. But I do live this just barely just to kill subspace, and then we get med off point forced, and they might ult here but they don't. So yeah, that was a good play. Even if I died there, it is okay because we had to get them off point anyway. But you can force like their enemy team to have an awkward position that your teammates can take advantage of. That'll make it 100 times easier for you to take point pressure, just get kills in general. So what should you be doing with your ult? Well, besides the clutch factor, generally speaking, this is where I messed up on my last video. You should be like soar into ulting, which can work. But if you're gonna do that, you want to be really low, right? Because at a flat angle, it'll be much easier for you to hit your ult, as opposed to let's say I'm on top of this pillar. Ooh, I'm about to miss. So let's say I'm like on top of this pillar, right? Can I even get up there? Oh my gosh! One second. Okay, so let's say I'm up here, right? If I jump and ult downward, and there's like a team fight happening, I'll probably only be able to get like 1 or 2 skewers, and that makes me also, it makes me really, even though I'm back here, if a hyper's on the opposite side of the map, it makes me really vulnerable to get hit, right? So you never want to do that, because it makes it harder for you to actually skewer people, as opposed to if there's a team fight like backing up and I'm like right here, right? And I'm on a flat angle. Or it's not a flat angle that much, but I can probably hit more ults, or hit more skewers. If you are unsafe, you can also pop a shield before you ult, where if I'm like right here, and then I just ult this, I'll have a safe, it'll be safe for me to ult like that. And then you can get some pretty good skewers off. So this is a really good clutch factor in my opinion. But that's really much all I have to say, generally speaking, for it. You never want to ult someone who's already low enough. Like if there's like 25 HP rocket here, there's no real reason for me to ult, because I can just confirm it regularly, right? With M1 and E. And you also want to have a really open sight line to ult. Like I said, in SFT, there's a big statue, and I can ult it, and I'll miss. I'll hit the pillar. Okay, now that I'm remembering, actually, the terrain, generally speaking. Sorry, it's okay. So the terrain, generally speaking, right? You want to watch out, because even the smallest of terrains, like even a little bitty part, can stop you. Like, let's say, I'm trying to ult like right there. I'll get stopped if I angle it too low. You also want to make sure you're ulting at a good angle. It's like a flat angle, because if I'm ulting like this, and I hit that person and I hit it too low, I might miss if I'm like facing directly downwards. So you want to aim yourself at least forwards to be able to actually do something. It's kind of a waste sometimes, but you could also, on really high elevation maps, you could ult upwards, but generally you kind of just don't want to do that, because you could literally just boom, F2 and do that. Or this is allegedly this is bandage scrims, but you could also hold M1. If you didn't know, if you're some beginner, you on some walls, I think on most walls, you could climb up them by just holding M1 and like looking up and holding W, or moving forward. And it's really easy, so you don't have to pop the Q or just like having to jump this way or go all the way around. What you do, you should go all the way around if you're low or something, because people will see you and kill you that way. Okay, so now that we're done with that, let's actually put this into a real game and lock the hell in. And I'll try to, if I'm missing anything, please leave in the comments, and I'll actually let you guys know if I miss anything mid-game. Okay, so we are back on Bread Factory 3v4. I'll see if I can play this full game. I'll show you what I mean later when it comes to shielding. If they get a healer, like might get a vine staff, because they have projectiles, so we can block that. Okay, they run sword subspace, and we can wait for the last one. I don't care. Okay, our cop is like a dive cop. Whew. Alright, let's play some aggro then. Actually, no. So, actually, no, we definitely are. So I'm just gonna go in here, just gonna rush in, right? So you see how there's meds right in there? I can just shield that, just so I can have an easier fight to myself, and punish this sword for running away. Get the first blood. Even if I die here, that's okay. My team can make up for it. And, well, this is a very open space. I do die to rocket, though. So, even though I had shield at the end, there was no real reason to, because I could just hide. I could have just hid behind this place and just gotten away. Or, yeah, just safe from rocket. Here we have a interesting shuriken. Okay, I'm not gonna waste my time on them then. I'm just gonna push this. Okay, shuriken still wants me, which is weird. They should be dead there. Yeah, get what's it called? Crusher. So I could actually help my team out here. Could I grapple this? Oh, I missed, but that's okay. Not my fault, or not my problem right now. This rocket is a really bad matchup for Katana. He can deal so much burst damage so close range, so this is a really effective way to do it. You're able to grapple into shield to get extra stacks off, just so you're able to actually like activate your Limiting Misfortune stacks. But you don't want to do it all the time, because there are definitely some better uses you can have. So yeah. Also, I'm gonna ignore that shuriken. I'm not gonna lie. My bio can handle that. Grapple, nice. It's also okay. See, that sounded bad for me though. I kind of just shielded just so I wouldn't take any damage from their med. Okay, so this is where my ult really matters here. I can't ult right now because I'm on such a low HP. Because then they'll eventually shut me down, right? So rather than that, I'm just gonna see if I can get some shield, which I don't because I fought that. I was at a low enough HP anyway, but you just want to try taking your fights, especially because you can't regain shield from that. So if I was up there, of course I'd ult, but it'd be really hard for me because the sharp angle would only have less distance. This is a really good time to ult. So if I'm like right here and I had to get a sight line, I could have got a 2-skewer, but unfortunately they weren't positioned well enough to for me to actually play off of it. And the shuriken does go from here. I'm gonna shield for my medkit to get away, which they reposition the coil, which is fine. It's kind of a waste actually. I need to get away because being without shield katana is really important. So you just want to chill out, get some shield back, get back in the fight, and play along. This is looking at anti-katana comp. They have subspace and rocket, which are not my favorite matchups to go against, but it's alright. Look at that projectile canceling into that. And then I could have punished for lack of good movement. Just gonna see if I can get this kill here. Nice. Activate that. I die here. I'm gonna shield this because I can actually kill me there. But they don't. And then I can get the grapple off. I think I just canceled their medkits and Q actually. So this is a really good situation for us. We were closing in the gap. I'm just gonna play a little more safe here because my team seems to be dying. I'm gonna grapple this just in case they get it. Yeah. So you can grapple early to get to the threshold before they die. Okay, Shuriken does pop ult here. I can shut this down. They can't. If they don't know how to step into me while ulting. You on Shuriken, you'll get no damage on ult because if you're really close to him, it actually does nothing. So never want to do that. Okay, I see the Shuriken go invis. I don't know why they're going for me. I'm a winning matchup against him 9 times out of 10. I think. Just if he's playing like that, of course I'll have a winning matchup. So see how they're all clubbed up together? I can just pop an ult right here. I'm just gonna target the med, just because we don't want them reviving the clutch, especially. I could have gotten more than 1 skewer, but I missed. So, oh nice. Okay, that helped me get him off. You can hold M to predict that. I'm gonna hide behind this wall. My shield's still on cooldown. So there's nothing much I really can do. Rock has some annoying area denial. I'm gonna have to push this just for point pressures. Even if I die here, I get rest, so it doesn't matter. And then I can wait. Put this up. Am I not? Okay. It looked like he wasn't taking damage for a second. We can just play pressure here. It's a risky ult. Let's run it. Nice. Get the 2-skewer. See, the positioning is really important. I get both of those skills off. We just gotta keep running it like. And then we get the win. See, look at that. 14, 3 and 3. Not bad at all. It actually made up for my my poor performance in the start. So yeah, you could combo into shield really effectively as Katana. Just because of how much HP you can tank. I like. Good on my medkit and coil. They were doing some crazy work. So, like I was saying earlier, right? You can just build some crazy damage off just shielding alone, and also blocking line of sight. Well, you can utilize for multiple situations, just like there. Like medkit was not able to heal their sword while I was fighting them. I think. So I was able to punish off that. And if I was like let's say in that red factory match, right? I was from up high and I was aiming downward. I only got a 1 skewer or then 2. So you want to aim at a flat angle. You can get the most out of it, generally speaking. Who you ult is also really important in the clutch. I forgot to mention because if you need to ult some good people to actually be able to get damage. Like who is the most threatening to you and your team? Like, let's say a Banhammer is diving my team and there's a rocket there. He's really easy to ult. Who would I ult then? If you pick rocket, you're wrong. Banhammer is a really big threat to your opposing team. Any tank is a real big threat, so you want to get them out. You can get the healer. You can also get the healer ulted out. Well, that's a really important one because medkit and Vine Staff want to be rough in the clutch. Another one is also subspace. If subspace is ulting, it can cause for some crazy stonewall plays. So you want to avoid that as best as possible. Some other good people to ult, if you're able to. Biographed, Coil, Scythe not so much. You can ult, let's go down the list actually. You can ult Biographed, Coil, maybe Boombox if they can set up, if they are good at setting up. And that's pretty much it. Most of the else are, generally speaking, the rest you can ult. You can look at the target guide, the Katana guide. Let's play one more game here. Try to best to show off shielding effectively. So I'm just gonna push this vine real quick. I'm gonna use a sword or sunder. Now I can shield the kill confirm that. Grapple into subspace. See if I can force out his E. He might have already used it, so we can just kill him for that. Nice grapple kill. I could have just rushed in, but it's fine. We got enough downtime to be able to do that. So right here, let's see if we can play. Okay, I'm gonna shield this just so they don't get me, so I can actually safely push that. And then now that they're focused on something else and I ran away, I can just kill this vine for free, especially because they're isolated from their team. Plus Biograph. Okay, now that they have Tana, obviously I'm gonna have to focus them a lot more. Get that grapple out the way. So Tana can be a real threat to your team because how much damage and shield he has. Obviously, just like me, like I'm Tana as well. So that's gonna be a really poor matchup. They're running this is a really annoying tankless comp, by the way. So Tana's gonna be their main frontline of the team. You wanna avoid getting grappled, but you can also snowball off it really well. Okay, now that I missed a grapple, I can just go in. Now I shield, I can ult this. Gonna get their med out, get a triple grapple, and I avoid both of them. You can do that. We just pwned them. Look at that. Look at that. We just fucking pwned them. You don't want to do that because that'll get you killed. You want to leave yourself alive. But that worked. And that's what you want to see out of Katana. Look at that. But I could have landed a lower angle, shielded them, and done the same thing, but it's okay. We're not worried about that. We have point control. Don't know what Subspace is doing. Subspace must be lost like a kid at the park. Nice ult, but ooh, wait. Nice ult by Hyper. Okay. This is giving us so much space. I don't even have to, like, it doesn't even matter. Like, I could just push this if I want. Grapple Katana. Ooh, I missed the grapple. Okay, I die here. I know my limits. Oh, I almost made it. That's on me. we're not playing here to win. I mean, we kind of are, but there's some ways. Okay, just gonna punish this real quick. No one's on me. No reason to no real reason to. Okay, if I have my ult up, that'd be a really good time to ult. I'm not gonna void. Originally, I'd love to void fish that, but I don't think I would have gone back in time. See, I'm gonna shield this so our med doesn't heal. Get them stuck. Nice. They do get stuck in ult, and we get the shutdown on boom. Nice. Damn, everyone's stepping this ult. They love it. That's crazy. Okay, now that we don't actually have any healers, this is gonna be a hyper aggro. I'm gonna have to back up real quick. Just real quick, and then now it's a good time to ult. It's a weird sightline to have. Yeah, I missed that. That was a really bad ult by me because I could have been right here, getting like a 3 skewer, but I decided to ult in the back line and hit absolutely nothing and whiff. So that's kind of a bad usage of ult. I guess, you know, accidents happen. Can't really avoid that. You know, everyone makes mistakes. We're gonna have to protect our team here. Just gonna get this this Katana out of the way. Push their back line with sword. You can utilize sword to actually be able to push them while also activating Luminous Fortune stacks, and that is really good. Like, if I want to reposition, I'm gonna just go to the sword part. So if I want to reposition, okay, I'm about to die here. Ooh, they whiffed ult. See, look at that. I popped E and they whiffed their ult. I'm just gonna get this. Okay, that was kind of a waste actually. They were gonna die anyway to bio, but in time like that, if you pop your E, you can knock yourself back just so you're able to like actually avoid ults that are being used, such as Katana, I guess, and you can do that for Hyper as well. But yeah, we pretty much have this game unlocked actually. We should win this. Interesting usage of E because we have no healer to block anything, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, nice ult by. Okay, nice. I'm loving this Hyper laser actually. They've been pulling through. We're just gonna get this out of here before we die, and we win. Simple as that. 16. Is that 4 or 3? I'm assuming it's 3 deaths or 4 deaths. See, not bad at all. We smoked. That is a that must have been a 3v5. Damn, I get MVP too. Let's go. But yeah, that's a really good shield usage. Just because I've been able to build stacks. You can build stacks on multiple people and activate them all at once just using Sunder. And that's a really good applicable use for Sunder. That's because of how much damage output you can deal. But you don't obviously want to do that all the time. But that's a really effective usage, especially against a comp like that. So it was doing all right. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Like and subscribe. Oh shit.